Today, we're going to talk more about our Dirt Road CRED JL Shelf and show you how to install it. All right guys, so here it is. I know it's been a little bit, and honestly, we got back from the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep invasion and had a ton of folks coming up and talking to us and asking what is going on with the JL Shelf. Well, if you guys have ever designed and produced and started to produce a product, you know that there's a lot of different hurdles, roadblocks, things that you have to overcome, and ultimately things that you need to figure out before you get these shipped out. Now, we've shipped out a bunch of these already after they were finalized in this version, as you see behind me, and our customers are really loving them. They're a great, easy to install product that honestly, the only tool you need is the torque spit that's included with your Jeep and the original hardtop bolts. The coolest thing about this shelf is that it's able to kind of close off the back area here, give you a nice stable platform to throw some more gear up top, but then also keep prying eyes out of the backside of your Jeep. My whole goal when I actually designed this and started building the first version out of plywood right up here in the garage was to create something I could use at Daytona Jeep Beach to cover up the back of the Jeep, make it a little bit waterproof, and then just keep people from looking in the back. You know, the biggest thing, if someone wants to get in and steal out of your vehicle, they're gonna find any way that they need to get inside. However, with this, it's an extra layer of protection, and ultimately, we drove around when it was pouring, and it gave us a little bit more waterproofing. We wanted to match the finish of the Jeep, and we went with a fully composite material underneath our coating that's exterior grade and 100% waterproof. The guys over at our cabinet shop, Snitz Creek, actually took a cutoff of the scrap that we used to make these, which they're all cut on a $300,000 machine, and he put it in a bucket of water for 3 weeks. When he pulled the scrap piece back out, it may have moved, I want to say, 1/8 of an inch expansion, and that was sitting underwater for 3 weeks straight. And that was without any coating. So that was before any coating. And then we do finish it off with, it's almost a Raptor liner style bed liner on here, but they've changed the consistency per our instruction to make it a little bit smoother. You guys know if you've done bed liners, you can get some that are as consistent as sand in there, and we don't want to scratch up the entire sides of our bed rails. Plus, it just looks more OEM like this. But back to the original question, what's been going on? Why haven't they been talked about? Well, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there's a lot to produce a product like this. We had to figure out, first off, we wanted to make it work with a soft top. So when you had all the windows removed like this, it'll work. When you put all the windows back in, it still 100% works. And then also a big question we got was, will it work with the hard top? We were gonna come up with a second version, but we thought simplicity is best. This version will work with a hard top. You basically set the hard top in first, put your shelf material, your two pieces on top of that, and you have to get a little bit longer of a hard top bolt to get it to secure down. But ultimately, we had to figure out a lot of those solutions. Shipping them out was another big hurdle. These are very awkward shaped here, so we had to source a special type of box that could fit them, hold up to 200-pound capacity, and ultimately be able to ship them to your door and make sure that they're safe the entire way. And then the next thing was really just finalizing the process, and we think we have it completely ironed out, and we're super happy with the product we have. All right, guys, so let's kind of unwrap this. This is exactly how it would come to you in a giant old box as well, but we want to make sure that it gets there safe, even though it's made out of complete composite exterior grade material. The only other thing I will say, if you do order one of these from us and it has a little bit of dust on it, these are made in a cabinet shop, so it might have some light dust. Just use a wet rag and get that cleaned off. So as we split them apart into two pieces, I'm going to kind of set them over here and we will show you basically how they work. So that's a foam piece in between to protect it. So let's kind of line this up. And I want to show you basically how the latch works. So obviously they're on different sides here, but the latch mechanism that was figured out on this actually comes from Germany, and it was a recommendation from our cabinet makers. Now what happens is, if you guys remember with table leafs in your kind of grandma's house, or even your house right now, my house has a table leaf in the dining room. When you put these two pieces together, all you need to do is turn these. This section, this half moon, will go into the section here, and this side here will go into the other side to basically create it as one latch there. And what's neat is then when you're ready to remove it, that's all you have to do. So it's really nice because you just reach in there, twist them in one turn. I believe it's clockwise to lock them and then counterclockwise to unlock it. And what this does is it's a simple way of connecting both of these pieces without having to put latches and different things on the inside that you have to screw and bolt on. These are perfectly matched up. The cabinet shop matches these up before they actually get shipped out, and then they perfectly align up with each other. So That's really simple to do. My dad's Jeep is a good example. He's got a jumbo ARB back here that I actually ran in my JK for a long time. He stores all of his gear. My dad has a lot of gear in the back of his Jeep. He's always ready. He was in the military, so it's kind of one of those things. You'd rather have it, not need it, than need it and not have it. So with that said, Dad travels around with the dog a lot too. So we're gonna cover this up. So the first step is to grab your piece that's gonna sit closest to the rear seat. And you'll know which one it is because it won't have all the cutouts here for the actual soft top brackets, and it'll have the smaller portion here. This will go down, so this will be underneath so you don't see it. And it makes it, it's a little bit interesting with one person. You can either go through this way here. You'll just wanna get it through your seat belts. Get it as far in as you can walk it. And if you have a second person or you want to lay your rear seat down, it works a lot easier too. But we'll work it all the way over to the other side. And this is going to look difficult just because it's one person, Ryan. But it's super simple. Yeah, you have to hold the camera. I get it. And then you're just going to lay it down just like so. So there it's going to set into place here. It's going to perfectly notch out around. That's the first piece in. That's the hardest piece to do, and it took all of 1 second. I don't know. Hard top bolts, we're gonna put all these in once we're done, but we'll show you how easy it is to put in the back piece. And then the back piece, it really doesn't get much easier than this. That's it. So, and you're done. Yeah, let me grab the 6 hard top bolts. We'll show you guys how that looks bolted down, because what you wanna do is you'll go around and get all these started. But once we have it kind of buttoned up, we'll show you how close these actually fit together. So there's a little bit of a gap there. It's because it's not in the right spot. But once you get these started, you can really close and secure that gap. There we go. I do start all the hard top bolts, and then we go to our center. So you can see these are kind of like 2 separate pieces here. All you have to do is go underneath and latch these together. So we're gonna get that side latched, there you go. And now they're basically one solid piece here. So there's no pushing on one side or another. And the thing is too, you will have a little bit of give on the top of the shelf here. That's because from the frame rail to the frame rail of the tub here, it's about 5 foot 4 inches, something like that. It's a lot wider than I was anticipating. Unless you put something standing straight up in the middle or put more gear to really support the top here, it's a lot of distance to spread across here. Now, once you have those 2 latched, it's as simple literally as twisting those on the inside. You can do it without looking. We're gonna tighten down all of our hard top bolts, go along each side, and we'll show you what it looks like when it's finished. So as you guys can see, that's how quick it is to install. Literally, it takes about 5 minutes to do. We've got it fully bolted up here. It's very sturdy once you have everything bolted down. And if you guys look around at the lines here, it's not just a square cookie cutter piece. We've mitered perfectly around the roll cage edges here, mitered it around the factory soft top bracket. And then you might be noticing this gap in between the tailgate here. That's because this does work with the soft top completely on. So when you have all the windows up, this will still work in here perfectly. And then when you don't, so say you take all the windows out, all I do is just pull the soft top bar out of the back window and click it into place. So there you go. That'll really solidify that and almost close this gap entirely. But then there's another reason why we didn't close this off and make it so tight to it. If you guys have ever pulled these soft top windows out, you know just how hard it is. We can still get our hand up in there to give it a firm tug. But this is how clean it looks then when you close this up, and it seals the back a little bit better. And yeah, a little bit of a gap in there, but ultimately this is gonna give you so much more protection than what you're used to. And honestly, I just think it looks so great. So we'll get a couple shots of this Jeep. My dad's in the Gobi tan. This looks like almost like a military style vehicle. I almost think that we could get really creative with this, put some Yeti cooler mounts up top, put the Milwaukee pack out boards on here. You can do whatever you want with this, and it's a blank slate. And then if you wanna pull it off, remove the bolts, twist that latch, and pull it off, and you're good to go. One thing you might not notice looking at your Jeep, the curvature of this body line. This is probably 3/4 to a full inch narrower at the back of the tub compared to up front here. And we have it perfectly lined up with the edge. As you can see, we did a tremendous job. And that allows you to get the soft top notches still underneath here without interfering at all and giving you the most kind of protection as possible. On today's viewer rig of the video, we are checking out Mike's 2015 Firecracker Red JKU. Mike's all the way out in Omaha, Nebraska, and I gotta say, I do have a soft spot for the Firecracker Red and the JKU. I keep thinking we need to do one on the channel here. So this Jeep does have the swapped Sahara factory fenders, which is what gives it the color match. Back in the JK days, it was more tricky to actually get color match fenders. On this Jeep, it's got a 2.5-inch JKS lift paired with a set of Fox 2.0 Performance Series shocks. He's got a set of 35 by 12.5 R17 Goodyear Wrangler Duratrack tires on 17x9 Method 312 bronze wheels. I really like the bronze and the red. I think it looks fantastic. He did re-gear to a set of Yukon 456 gears and upgraded to the 10th anniversary front and rear Mopar steel bumpers. Lighting, he's got a set of Diode Dynamics SS3 Pros in yellow, and in headlights, he's got a set of the KC Highlight Gravity LED Pros. A very, very good looking JK. Makes me miss my JK sometimes and think as these kind of start to get a little bit more readily available and we have a lot more in the used market, maybe we should do one on the channel. But Mike, huge shout out. Thank you so much for submitting. If you guys want to have your Jeep featured, be sure to send us a message on Instagram or send us a message through our email. All right, guys, well, that's going to be a wrap on how to install our Dirt Road CRED shelf onto the back of your four-door Jeep. We're extremely happy to have this product out. Honestly, it solved a need that I had, and I hope it solves a need that you have too, to just get a nice piece on the back here that covers it up. It looks clean, it looks factory, and it's super simple to install with all of your factory components on here. Now, we do ship these out in batches. When we have our local cabinet maker build these for us, we do them in a certain batch number just so we can get the most yield out of the material and also the most out of a coating. So we order in all the specialty coatings for this. They spray them, they have to let them cure. They put a couple coats on here to really make them durable. And honestly, it does take a little bit of time. So if we have them in stock, we're gonna ship them out ASAP. But if not, we'll order them in batches, and you might be in a window of 2 to 3 weeks or something like that to get a hold of them. We wanna let you guys know that before you order, just so if you do order, it takes a little bit of time, but you'll really enjoy it once you have it. And I gotta say, it's a solution to a problem I was having, and if you guys are having the same problem, here is your fix. Until next time though, these are live on the website, so if you wanna check them out, we've got a bunch sitting in the shop ready to be shipped out. Check us out on the website and pick one up for your four-door Jeep. My name's Matt with Dirt Road CRED, and I want you to get out there and earn yours.